chairlift at Stowe, Vermont. Many a time I've been here for some of the best skiing I have ever had. Not long ago, though, I rode this same lift in the summertime. I wanted to see for myself the glory of one of the most varied summer playgrounds in this country. A playground where steep mountains stand on end beside roads that are ideal for riding, where golf courses are surrounded by a countryside famed in song and story. Recreation, where once roamed good old Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys. 26 well-equipped state parks provide facilities for camping and picnicking. The chance to live outdoors in Vermont's justly celebrated green forest. Swimming, well, that easily tells its own story. Countless lakes from Pownell to Canaan, St. Albans to Brattleboro, and they provide infinite variety for water sports. Does walking or hiking appeal to you? Vermont's long trail is cut right through the backbone of the Green Mountains. Fishing, well, the streams and lakes are always fully stocked with game fish, stocked from hatcheries like this one at Bennington. Conservation and sport go hand in hand. As nearly everybody knows, the many inns of Vermont are part of Vermont history. Anyone who travels will appreciate the traditions still apparent in fine food, equally fine accommodations. And when the sun sinks behind the Green Mountains, you'll remember that day in Vermont.
Up here at the cabin in Maine, I leave Wednesday for my second annual Vermont road trip, which I'm pretty excited about. Going for 6 or 7 days like last year. I got my car bed all set up. It's just one of those foam mattress toppers. Usually sleep with like a sheet, big Sherpa blanket. It's pretty comfy. Fishing pole, tackle box, cooler. We are all set. It's gonna be a great trip. Leominster, Mass. We're on our way to Vermont. Thought I'd stop by the marker for where Johnny Appleseed was born. The birthplace of Johnny Appleseed, born in Leominster, September 26, 1774. Gardner, Mass. This is the S.K. Pierce Haunted Mansion, built by Sylvester Pierce in the 1880s. He was a wealthy businessman. The house was like a marvel for its time, and as you can see, I mean, it's gorgeous. Guests that stayed here: Norman Rockwell, President Calvin Coolidge, and many others. Apparently, after moving in, Pierce's wife mysteriously died. Then he died, then the sons fought about who would take it over, then the fortune dwindled. One of the older sons took it over, turned it into like a boarding house with drinking, gambling. A prostitute was strangled in the Red Room here. And then a Finnish immigrant burned to death in the master bedroom in 1963. This house has been really known for its paranormal activity. Lots of ghost hunter shows have visited here and done tours, and the house has been ranked the second most haunted house in Massachusetts. I think the first is probably the Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, and the number 9th most haunted house in America. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do overnights here. They definitely do tours, especially during October. We're actually on the Mohawk Trail right now, still in Massachusetts, about to head up north to Vermont. But this is the French King Bridge, which spans the Connecticut River, built in 1930, about 140 feet high. (1932). There's the Connecticut River. I really love this old French King motel and restaurant right next to the bridge. Poet Seat Tower in Greenfield, Mass. Built in 1912. Oh wow, it keeps going. All right, guys, we made it to Vermont. So we came up from Mass from the Mohawk Trail. We're going to Bratt, continuing up, then we'll go over, then we'll go up, and we'll go to Montreal. Harris Hill Ski Jump, Brattleboro. We're at the base of the ski jump. This is Main Street, Brattleboro. I love this town. Here's the Latches Hotel. It's like an Art Deco hotel. I've stayed here so many times in like my 20s because Brattleboro is pretty close to Boston. It's got a great view actually of the hills and the Connecticut River, which I'll show you in a second. And it's attached to the Latches Theater. So this is the bridge over the Connecticut River from Brattleboro, and then that's New Hampshire. So we're right on the border here. Scott Farm Orchard, which has been in active cultivation since 1791 and was a key filming location for Cider House Rules. Such a great movie. Also Sand Beach in Acadia, and the spot in the Berkshires that I was at last year is a filming location for Cider House Rules. So this is right next door. He wrote the Jungle Book. The Stone Trust. Wow. Okay, super hard to see because it's back on private property, but that's the Naulakha house where the author, I'm gonna butcher his name, but that's where he wrote the Jungle Book. The Molly Stark Byway, Vermont's Heritage Trail. So Creamery Bridge, that's where we're at right now. Cavendish, Vermont. This is where the Gage accident happened. So Phineas Gage, who was a railroad construction foreman from Lebanon, New Hampshire, suffered massive brain damage when a 3-foot 7-inch tamping iron was accidentally blown completely through his head. But they were able to save him, but his friends observed he was no longer Gage. One of the first documented cases in medicine showing the relationship between personality and the front sections of the brain. So we just crossed the Cornish-Windsor Bridge, which is the longest wooden bridge in the U.S. and the longest 2-span covered bridge in the world. We were on the Vermont side and we drove across, and now we are in Vermont. It really is the longest covered bridge. This is Living the Dream Alpaca Rescue. Hi guys. Oh, there's a lot of them. Looks good. Wow, they have a ton of alpacas here. I have this, lunker bass fishing. I have that in my desk in Maine. Ooh, magic toys. Home arcade games. Let's take another look at this. Wow. Look at that. Covered bridge with a U-Haul going over it. Downtown. How cool. And now it's winter. No way. Sugarbush Farms Chapel. The Lord, the land, the maples, the animals. These are our providers. Wow, they've had so many weddings here. That's awesome. So this is their tapping system that goes all the way through these trees and up. I like you, peanut butter.
And on the 8th day, God looked around at his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn to feed the livestock and work all day in the fields. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to cradle his own grandchild. I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die. Then dry his eyes and say, put in another 72 hours.
Imitation syrups.
So God made a farmer. Welcome to Sugarbush Farm. 550 acres of peace, beauty, and exceptional peace all over
An old New England farm song.
in Woodstock, Vermont.
Boil the sap in here. Each of the 6 compartments contain a batch of sap cooking towards syrup. This is awesome. This is Sleepy Hollow Farm in Woodstock, Vermont, previously owned by Aerosmith guitarist Joe Perry. This is a really famous spot for Vermont photographers, especially in the fall with the foliage and the hills. What is this? This place is awesome. So this hippie couple in Vermont rents it out. They used to live in this, drive across the country in it. Got this full bed in the back and this little nook area. Got a fire pit, dishwashing station, composting toilet, picnic table, propane tank, fridge. She said there's a 2-year-old black bear that's been terrorizing the campsite, so that should be really fun. That's my mocktail for later. Let me just also show you this real quick. It's like pretty nice camp. This paddle boat is absolutely massive and quite old. This is like the swan boat in the Boston Public Garden. awesome that they have this free propane and kitchen stuff and olive oil and all that. I'm just going the easy route tonight. I have this meal. This is from that company in Maine who does dehydrated camping meals. It's a Cuban rice bowl. It's supposed to be really good. I also grabbed some of this Vermont Brie. I had no idea there was an Amato's in Woodstock, Vermont. This is like a Maine thing. Started in Portland, Maine. I love Amato's. Oh my god. What a find. Across from the Billings Farm and Museum is the Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historic Park. This is Billings Farm and Museum here in Woodstock. Massive farm, lots of livestock, and then they have museums and exhibits over in there. Quechee. This is Simon Pierce, the famous glass company and artist, right here. This is Vermontasaurus. Here at Post Mills Airport. Okay. True, all right. So this is the builder. It's pretty cool. Commercial structure. The oddity now faces opposition from neighbors and regulatory challenges from government entities. They want to tear down Vermontasaurus. Is it a hazard? I don't know. It's pretty cool. Dock and boat on land. Barre, Vermont, the world's largest zipper. Here in Montpelier at the state capitol. My girlfriend got me this book from the Boston Public Library, and it says in it that this is the only state capital without a McDonald's restaurant. Ethan Allen, leader of the Green Mountain Boys. The governor's office. The Battle of Cedar Creek by Julian Scott. The 1st Vermont Brigade at the Battle of Cedar Creek, October 19th, 1864.
It could be replenished from the generous store held by the people of this brave little state of Vermont. What else is there to say? Chairlift at Stowe, Vermont. Many a time I've been in pride in the water sports. So walking or hiking the view of Vermont small trail.
love these. I want my wall in like a house to just be covered in these. Oh, that's the Richmond Round Church. Man, this is great. Look at that one. Oh. This is kind of creepy of me because it's not like a factory tour or anything. It's just the Darn Tough factory. They make like the best socks in the world. I'm wearing them right now. Just great quality. But I'm parked in their knitting assembly area. So this is the farm I'm staying on. Let me show you. It's Union Brook Farm. Yep, it's a lot of chickens. This farm Pyrenees is huge. I love him. You a good boy? You a good boy? Tiny house on the farm. Really have everything I need in here. Moss Falls Reservation. Look at the color of that water. Welcome to New Haven, Vermont. This is the grave of Timothy Clark Smith, who was afraid of being buried alive, so he had a grave specially made with a window over his face. It's pretty like condensated and you can't really see that far in, but this is what he was buried in when he died in 1893. He was also buried with a bell in his hand in case he was buried alive so he could ring it. I don't think we'll be able to see much of anything, but kind of see some grass. Oh, I found another one of those live bait machines. I just think these are the coolest. Been here a few times before, but this is the world's tallest filing cabinet in Burlington. This is the former site of the Elizabeth Lund Home for Unwed Mothers, where Ted Bundy was born in 1946. We are at Church Street in downtown Burlington. Love this town. Check this out. So we are here, right down the way is Lake Champlain in New York. Here's Church Street Marketplace, and up the hill is UVM. The hot dog lady serving up hot dogs on Church Street for 28 years.
I made a stop at Shelbourne Village. Not long enough, though. I don't know how long it would take to pick up all the legends and stories behind these historic homes and farms. Take the old steamer Ticonderoga. She still plies Lake Champlain. And does she have her stories? Stories of long generations of life in Vermont.
Shelbourne Museum. Built in 1901. Moved to museum in 1985. Wow, this goes on forever. So we just went through the circus building, which goes all the way around. Beach Lodge. Check it out. Wow. Train depot. All aboard. Central Vermont Railway. All right, we have made it to Ticonderoga. Look how freaking cool this is. We are below deck now. Potatoes and a pie. This is great. $140 meals a day. Auxiliary engines. Crew quarters. Oops. Shower.
You can write. You can write.
Too big? Too deep?
Maybe.
Look in there. It's real cute. Pistons and machinery and stuff. Okay. Yeah, those are cute shoes. it goes a lot of things.
Phoenix, this looks like a mirror, but look at it. This is awesome. It's awesome. It's scary. What's that? That is the... Don't forget we're going up. We haven't gone up yet. This way. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, we have a...
He's right up there.
There's another... Look, here's an overnight lodge.
All right, I've reached top deck of the boat. This is definitely already one of my top museums, and I haven't even explored half the grounds.
It's camps?
I'm not sure.
Nothing to do with
Oh
it,
no.
I'm waiting to say, I'm ringing the bell for them, and they should be down there by now.
The parade and Woodstock from essentially the very beginning and the very end. This is 5-hour opera.
There's some jugs that sort of look like.
Yeah, well, there's a dentist and a doctor's office upstairs that's currently closed, and there's an apothecary that.
What time frame period?
This is 1840s. And then would pick out their.
Okay. I forget this one.
All of this.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You're welcome.
Meeting house. Here we go. The Horseshoe Barn Annex. Whoa. A lot of these appear to be from Concord, New Hampshire. This is great. Horseshoe barn, modeled after a dairy barn. Let's check it out. Fancy sleigh from the French Carriage Company in Boston. Schoolhouse. Built in 1840, moved to museum 1946. They have a Winslow Homer here, and I am related to Winslow Homer, so. I had to tell the folks here that I'm related to Winslow Homer, and then she busted out this this article here for me to read. Turns out the woman in this gallery is related to this woman, who's also in this painting. And I'm like, oh, and I'm related to Winslow Homer, so small world. Here's an Andrew Wyeth painting. Andrew Wyeth, best known for his painting Christina's World. I visited his house, actually. It's on the coast of Maine, Cushing, Maine. Thank God I always have my handy book on me. This is the Colchester Reef Lighthouse, originally a mile offshore from Colchester Point and Lake Champlain, established in 1871. And then the lighthouse fell into disrepair after it was deactivated in 1933. And in 1952, it was moved to the Shelbourne Museum. And Shelbourne Museum has been called New England Smithsonian, which I strongly agree with. This was the Electra Havemeyer Webb Memorial Building. There was a French Impressionist collection and furnished rooms directly from the home of museum founder Electra Havemeyer Webb.
Just browse on your own, or would you like a little quick overview? Want a quick overview? You can probably give them the tour.
So here's the Monet. This is Mr. Webb's bedroom. This is the green guest room. Wow, I just spent 3 hours there. That was a pure delight. I got this patch. I think I'm gonna put it starting up there or over here.